This is the Everything Weight Loss podcast with Shari, Ware we talk about everything, all things, anything to do with weight loss, health, and wellness. Welcome to episode number 1 of the Everything Weight Loss podcast with Shari, Ware. That's me, myself, and I. And who am I? My name is Shari Ware, and I am a weight loss expert, to put it quite simply. And I'm a weight loss expert because of my own personal journey, which is very, very close to my heart. And it's important for you to know why I'm creating this podcast. Today, when I'm filming episode number 1, numero uno, hopefully my daughter's proud of the way I just pronounced that. She speaks Spanish, but if not, I know she's proud of me for many other things. It's the beginning of July 2020. And going back 10 years ago, I was about 34 years old. I was a single parent. I was a foster carer. And I weighed over 180 kilos. And I dreaded waking up every single morning because the very first experience I had when I woke up in the morning was a feeling of dread for what I knew was about to come, and that was the simple act of putting my feet on the floor first thing in the morning was excruciating because I was so overweight that it hurt so much that it made me cry. I had my whole life up until that point, I had a series of yo-yo dieting, emotional eating, all the emotional problems that a lot of people have, and I would put on weight and then I would lose weight and then I would put on weight and then I would lose weight, and every time I put weight back on, I put on more than what I had lost. And I know that there are so many other people out there in the world, maybe you're listening right now, who knows exactly what I'm talking about because they've been there too and they've experienced it. I was so blessed that about 10 years ago I finally found what I call my why power. It was a shift in my mindset that enabled me to make changes to my lifestyle one at a time, and I was able to release 100 kilos, and I haven't looked back since. My journey started out as a weight loss journey. It turned into a weight release journey, and then it turned into a health journey, which is what it is today. I have certainly had a long journey. There have been ups and downs, but I'm definitely at a much better place in my life today than I was 10 years ago. And that's why I wanted to create this podcast. Over the course of my journey, especially the last couple of years, I have done a lot of training. I became a personal trainer, a master hypnotherapist, a master NLP practitioner, a master life coach. I've written a couple of books. I'm a best-selling author and I'm an international speaker, and all of those things are so that I can help other people like me, because it's not just all about eating less and moving more. I'm not saying that we don't need to make some changes to our nutrition a lot of the time. I'm not saying that if we're not exercising that we shouldn't be doing some exercise and trying to get some movement into our life. Those things are definitely important, but it's quite often not where we need to start, and that's the mistake so many people make. So I'm not going to tell you all of the things in this episode. This episode is just so that you get to know me if you don't already know who I am and what I'm about and why I call myself a weight loss expert. It's so that you know what this podcast is about. So this podcast is about everything, anything, all things to do with weight loss, and health and wellness, fitness, whatever comes under that category. And there are so many things that actually come under that category, and things that might surprise you. In fact, one thing I definitely learned over the last 10 years is that we don't know what we don't know. And I certainly didn't know near as much as what I know now. And the beautiful thing is that I'm continually learning, and that's also what this podcast is about. It's not just for me to help others and for me to teach others, it's also so that I can learn more and pass that on to others. So if you are somebody that is struggling with your health or your weight, then this podcast is for you. And if you are somebody who works with those people who are struggling with their health and their weight, then this is for you as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I would love for you to tell me if there's anything in particular, any topics that you want me to cover. Definitely comment and let me know. I am open to any suggestions and anything that is going to help anybody in any of those areas that I've just spoken about. I'm definitely wanting to get out there. And, I've got a lot of time. I've got a lot of time to be creating this podcast, and we can cover a lot of topics. So please stick your hand up if there's something that you really want to know about, then I am happy to create an episode on that. So welcome, thank you. Let me know what you would like me to cover if you have anything particular, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a great day, and don't forget, you can change your story one change at a time.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Remember to check out the show notes, and if you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. If you've received value from this podcast, make sure to subscribe, and I'd love you to rate and review the show. Have a fabulous day.